Hello friends, a warm welcome to this channel. Watch this video attentively. It may be a turning point in your life towards learning English. You will learn how to tame your mind to think in English. I will start with a short story. I assure you, you will definitely learn the nature of our mind, and the whole game is all about our mind. So let's start the story. A man had two buffaloes. He used to graze them every day. In the afternoon, he used to tie them up and take a rest so that they won't wander off. In the evening, he used to untie them and bring them back. One day, it so happened that one of the ropes in the buffalo's neck got lost. It might have fallen off somewhere, so he started wondering how to tie the buffalo. In a small hut, there was a Swami. He went to the Swami and asked, "Do you have a rope? I need a rope to tie a buffalo. After I finish doing it, I will return to you. Can you please lend me a rope?" The Swami said, "If I had to have ropes and bondages, why would I be here? I don't have a rope." The man said, "Look, this is my problem. I want to tie a buffalo, but I don't have a rope. What do I do?" The Swami said, "Do you tie the buffalo every day?" The man said, "Yes, of course. I tie it every day." The Swami said, "Then tie it like every day." The man said, "But I don't have a rope." The Swami said, "That's it. You know you don't have a rope, but the buffalo doesn't know. Just do what you do every day." The man did the whole thing and he did the whole thing. And to his utter surprise, the buffalo sat down like every day. He thought, this must be some kind of magic of the Swami. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll go and take a rest. So he started resting. After the rest, he got up and released the one he actually tied. But the other buffalo didn't get up. He went to the Swami and said, "Please release that buffalo. I want it back. What did you do? Some mantras or some kind of magic? The buffalo is not getting up." The Swami said, "See, you have tied it. Now go and untie it." The man said, "Arey, मैंने तो ऐसे ही ढोंग किया था. I just pretended to tie it." The Swami said, "Then just pretend to untie it. Just go and do it." The man did the same thing. And to his utter surprise, the buffalo got up and started walking. We laugh at the buffalo, but we all are exactly in the same state. It is exactly over here. It is all about mind. The control of the mind is with you. If you think you don't have control, it means in reality you don't have control. This is a fact. Trust me, this is a fact. If you think you have control, it means you have control. Friends, my dear learners, your own mind is your best friend and your own mind is your worst enemy. All the bondages are from your mind. Liberation is also from your mind. So my dear learners, that is all about importance and role of the mind in our lives. Everything starts from here. Everything starts from our mind. If you want to speak English, the first step is to generate the sentences in your mind before it reaches to your mouth or tongue. So start doing some kind of exercises which would help you to think in English. But the question arises, what are those exercises? So my dear learners, today in this video, I am going to present you a few exercises which will definitely help you to think in English. So let's talk about those exercises. Do you mentally translate from your native language to English and the sentences come out incorrect or unnatural when you speak? If yes, then watch this video till the end. I am sure it will help you to think in English. Thinking in English is essential. It increases fluency. If you live in a place where most people speak their mother tongue, it will be difficult for you to think in English. In turn, difficult to learn English. Generally, what does your mind do while speaking English? Your mind becomes busy trying to translate things from your native language into English. This is what is happening with you, right? You don't have opportunities to practice English. If you want to eliminate these problems and become fluent in English, the secret is learning how to think directly in English. When you speak, your speech might be slower than you would like. This is because your mind is still translating from your native language, which can also sound unnatural. English, like every other language, has its own sentence structure. But do you know that thinking in English can bring you a huge step closer to fluency? It is not very difficult. Trust me, it is not at all difficult, but it needs conscious effort and practice. You probably don't know enough English words. You think in your native language and then translate it into English. The problem with thinking in your native language and then translating is that it doesn't give correct sentences, right? Because the grammar and the sentence structure in English is entirely different from your native language. Also, it takes too much time to think and translate, isn't it? It leads to pauses, hesitations, and in turn your inability to speak fast and fluently, right? Moreover, if you translate, this creates a habit that would be hard to break later on. However, it is essential for you to learn to break this habit. In this video, I will share some exercises that would help you to think in English. The first exercise is to think in single words. It is always best to start small. So the first step is to think in individual words. Look around me. What do you see? Try to name the things you see around me in English. For example, you can name sand, tree is also visible, tree, sky, and a man or boy, stick. I think these stones are also visible. That's too simple. It is simple, and that is the beauty of it. Also, you never need to translate because you are using words you already know. You just practice using words you know in sentences and conversation. These things are around me, but you can also name the things around you, okay? Whatever it is, wherever you are, do it regularly. Do this exercise. You can also do it when you wake up and before you go to sleep. As you continue this practice, it will become a habit. Eventually, things will pop up in your mind. Eventually, trust me, things will pop up in your mind. For the next exercise, I suggest using collocations. For example, what do you see around me? You can say brown sand, right? A tall tree, right? A young boy, right? And you can say small stones, strong stick. We used individual words. And in this exercise, we used collocations, or I would say a group of words. Gradually, you need to improve your exercise. The next exercise I would suggest is thinking in simple sentences. For example, let's take the objects which we named just now. Sand, tree, sky, stick, and stone. A boy or man. Now we will make sentences using these words. I am standing on the sand, or I would say I am standing on a sand dune. There is a tall tree. There is a boy or man standing behind me. There is a stick on the ground. I can see a beautiful sky. There are many stones on the ground. Let's take another example. If you are at dinner, then think I am eating rice. My brother is eating ice cream. This table is not enough for 4 people, or this table is big enough for 4 people to have their food. This place is excellent for get together. When you are walking, think this road has many potholes. The trees are tall. People should walk on footpaths. It's okay if the sentences are very simple. The most important thing is to practice and develop the habit of thinking in complete sentences in English. I sometimes use this exercise to think about what I want to say to people in Kannada. I definitely try to say these sentences in my head without thinking about whether the sentence is absolutely correct or not. Another exercise that will be helpful is describing things or objects you don't know. you don't know what you call those in English. For example, if you can't think of the word stairs, you can always describe this using other words you know. For example, you can say the thing which has set of steps and you use to go from the ground floor to the first floor or second floor. And if you don't know the word floor, you could always describe like the flat surface of a room on which you walk, lie down, sleep on, keep things on. Doing this kind of exercise will help you to think in English and learn English. I have done it myself many times. This is really a good exercise. It helps me when I don't know some vocabulary. I'm still learning and I will keep on learning. Another exercise I would suggest is to describe your daily activities. If you are a beginner, try to describe your day using simple present tense. For example, I put on my shoes, I ride a cycle, I watch TV, I go to a market. If you are an advanced learner, try to plan mentally in the morning when you wake up. For example, after taking shower, I will have a cup of tea. I will go to my college by bus. After college, I will go to my friend's house to play chess. If I win the match, my friend will take me to a movie. Now the next exercise I would suggest is thinking in conversation. You need to imagine yourself speaking to someone else. You need to ask questions to yourself and think of the replies to those questions. This is a great way to practice the thing which you might say in a real conversation. For example, let's say the imaginary person which is you. Ask you questions like, what do you think of the movie Bahubali? Or what do you think of the cricket match between India and England? How would you answer it? Imagine, just imagine the conversation and practice it in your mind. You can say this loud or in your mind in silence. You can talk to yourself in English. When I was learning English, I used to describe to myself whatever happened during the day. Let me tell you, I still do this wonderful exercise. This will give you extra practice before you start explaining things to other people. The next thing I would suggest, use English to English dictionary. I am sure there will be some words and phrases that you do not know while doing these kind of exercises. So you will need to use a dictionary. But what kind of dictionary? Your native language to English or English to English? I suggest using an English to English dictionary. It will help you to absorb more English and think in English. Just write down 5 to 10 new words and phrases each day. Learn them. This will help you and will be easy to recall the words when you are in such a situation. The next thing I suggest is to practice these exercises daily. But the question is, how much time should you spend on these exercises? I would say do it a little every day. When you start doing it every day over and over again, little by little, it will become your habit. And then it would just pop up into your mind without thinking. And you won't know when you started thinking in English. Thinking in English is the biggest tip for increasing your fluency because it makes you more confident and helps you to speak more easily without hesitation. Always remember, many a little makes a miracle. Even the smallest things can make a big difference, can make a big impact. हमेशा याद रखिए, बूंद बूंद से घड़ा भरता है. Remember, keep it simple and only use words you already know. As you start small with words and build up to phrases, so start trying some of the steps and see the change start to happen. Let me know in the comment box below your experience with thinking in English. Stay blessed. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye bye. See you in the next video.